I'm sure that many of you will agree with me that the previous Node 2i was already one of the top streamers within its price range. Still, the guys from the Lenbrook Group decided not to rest on their laurels and made some significant upgrades, such as improved connectivity, a new 32-bit DAC and a 1.8 GHz quad-core processor. Sounds good in theory, let's see how it does in practice. The new Node looks a lot like its predecessor. It has the same slim case with rounded edges, but with a much smoother finish than the 2i, which had a kind of rubbery touch to it. The color options are still black and white, and the BLUESOUND software and control app remained unchanged. Also, just like with the previous version, you have the option to connect either wireless or hardwired to your network. New is the large touch control panel on top. This is made out of glass and has a proximity sensor that lights up the panel whenever you approach it. This panel has 5 programmable preset buttons which can be organized to your taste in the BLUESOUND app. There's a slider to adjust the volume level which you can tap to change the level by 3 dB intervals. Alternatively, you can tap the buttons at either end of the slider to vary the volume level in 1 dB intervals. Furthermore, there are buttons to skip or go back to the previous track and a play-pause button that doubles as a status indicator. At the front of the Node there's a decent sounding 3.5mm headphone output. Besides that, the Node also supports two-way aptX HD Bluetooth in case you prefer wireless headphones. At the back there's a new HDMI eARC port for an easy connection to modern TVs. Just be aware that only PCM audio playback is supported. If you're looking for surround sound, you might want to check out the Pulse Soundbar Plus from the same brand. The USB-A port is now a combined port that can either be used as an input for connecting a hard drive or as an output for connecting an external DAC. The latter lets you bypass its internal DAC, which can, depending on your DAC, further enhance the audio quality. Although I must point out that at the time I made this video, that function was not yet supported. Noteworthy is the fact that the two analog outputs can be set to fixed or variable, meaning you can choose to use the Node as either a pure source device or have it double as a preamp and connect a pair of active speakers or a power amp. There is an RCA subwoofer output, but you can also wirelessly connect a Pulse Sub Plus. Just like all BLUESOUND products, the Node is extremely easy to control. And besides the touch panel on top, there are several ways to do this. The most obvious one is the free BLUESOUND control app that can be installed on both Android and iOS devices, as well as on Windows and OS X computers. Furthermore, you can use voice assistants like Siri, Alexa or Google Voice, and you can even use an old infrared remote control and program the desired functions in the BLUESOUND app. If that sounds too complicated, you can also purchase a dedicated BLUESOUND remote control for around $60. Those of you that are using a smart home control system, like for example Lutron or Creston, will be pleased to hear that those can be integrated as well. And the new Node is even room ready. Personally, I'm not a big fan of voice assistants and I hardly ever use them. I did however try the setup procedure for the Node with Google Voice and found that it was super easy. Just open your voice assistant and say "Let me talk to Blue Voice" and that's it. My preferred way to operate the Node is by far the BLUESOUND controller app that I run on my Samsung Android phone. The BLUESOUND app is still one of the easiest and most reliable control apps that I've tried. And it's understandable why the Node's owner manual is only 4 pages long. Everything is just so self-explanatory. Besides that, BLUESOUND has included some help shortcuts within the app to guide you through more complicated setup procedures, such as adding music from a NAS. The BLUESOUND platform is currently the only platform in the world with support for up to 64 players, all streaming in 24-bit high-res audio, and setting up multiple players is super easy as well. The number of available streaming services is very impressive. And the support for Apple AirPlay 2 and Bluetooth aptX HD makes streaming music from a smartphone a breeze. As I already mentioned, the BLUESOUND Node offers numerous connectivity options. And for my listening test, I have tried the analog outputs connected to the analog inputs of my KEF LS50 wireless 2s and the coaxial output connected to both my KEFs as well as my RME 82 DAC FS. Furthermore, I also tried the HDMI eARC input by connecting it to my Sony XH9005 TV. The Node has the option to activate an auto sense function, and in this case the Node automatically switches to the HDMI input when you switch on the TV. Adding an extra device in your audio-video chain can sometimes cause lip sync issues, but I'm happy to report that this is not the case with the Node, at least not in this particular setup. As for music, the Node supports almost any existing file format, including MQA. The only thing missing is support for native DSD playback. The BlueOS software does however offer the option to convert DSD to FLAC. Now let's talk about the important stuff. How does the new Node sound? I got my BlueSound Node about 2 months ago, and since then I've been using it as my main music source here in my office. And guys, I can tell you already that I really like it. Right now I have a coaxial connection to my RME headphone amp and an analog cable running to my CAFs. Both options sound excellent. And in my opinion, the new Node sounds better through its analog outputs than its predecessor, the Node 2i. In direct comparison, the new Node sounds more dynamic and has a better instrument separation. As you can see, I also have a USB cable running to my DAC, because BlueSound has just released another update. But unfortunately, unless I'm doing something wrong, music output via USB is still not supported. However, when it does, I'll be ready for it. Now about the sound quality. We have to stay realistic. With a retail price of under $600, the Node is obviously not a high-end streamer. Still, you should not underestimate its performance level. The Node is a very neutral sounding streamer, capable of a very fine resolution, provided of course that you partner it with quality gear. When I listen to a complex track, such as O Fortuna from Carmina Burana, with the analog output connected to my CAFs, the Node manages to pick out details with razor-sharp precision. Besides that, the massive leap in dynamics is delivered with an impressive impulse fidelity. Or yet another great example of the Node's capabilities is with Eric Clapton's song Get Ready from his comeback album 461 Ocean Boulevard. Here the Node delivers a remarkable 3D soundstage in which Yvonne Elliman's and Eric Clapton's voices do not meld together but are clearly placed beside each other. For some people that may be totally unimportant, but if you're like me, you get a kick out of small details like those. And I just think it's great that you can get a high-end like experience with such a relatively affordable streamer. Now let me tell you what I don't like about the Node. The thing that bothers me most is that USB audio out still doesn't work. For me, that was the main reason why I decided to upgrade from the Node 2i to this newer model. So yeah, I find that a bit of a bummer. Still, I'm confident that in the near future it will work. Or at least I hope it will. The second point is the fact that by default a lot of album covers are missing in the library, and in order to fix that you will have to put in quite a bit of manual labor, in that you have to adjust the file size of the missing covers. I don't have time for that, but according to several BlueOS forums that should do the trick. Other than those 2 points I don't have any real complaints. Maybe an included physical remote would have been nice, but that's it. Okay, so you've been watching this video and you already own the previous Node 2i, and now you're wondering whether you should upgrade or not. Well, I will tell you this, if you're using your Node 2i in combination with a good quality DAC, then probably not. I don't think that you will hear a lot of difference. If, however, you are using the analog outputs in combination with a good quality amp and a good pair of speakers, then yes. I believe that the new Node sounds a lot better through its analog outputs than its predecessor, and in that case you would benefit from the upgrade. For somebody new to the BlueSound platform I can tell you this, the 3 biggest benefits of the BlueSound Node are simplicity, reliability and good sound quality. In my opinion, within this price range, the new Node is the best the market has to offer, and you would have to dig a lot deeper into your pockets to experience that very last bit of fine resolution. If you like hi-fi and you enjoyed this video, then I'm sure you're gonna love the next 2 videos.